Okay, so I'm putting this before the video. I just finished editing. I went to Sweet Lemon's Instagram to see her, to get a screenshot for the thumbnail, and her bio says it's all fake. So I went to her subreddit where there's a post about it. And I'm not going to fix any of my other video. That's just it. I feel like I made some really good points considering if the situation was real, so I'm just gonna leave all that in, but I'm going to give my thoughts on the whole faking it. I'm not sure if I should make another video, like a follow-up to this, where it goes over the fakeness, but I'm just going to tell you right now that it's all fake. It's fucking disgusting that she did this. She made a post about it on Reddit. I'll read it word for word now. Let me get here. Alright, I'll admit it, the suicide was fake. I did it to attempt to teach Emily a lesson. Before you ask why didn't you just block her, it wouldn't have done anything to change Emily's behavior. I understand that you're upset and you have the full right to. I shouldn't have faked my suicide. Did you fake it for clout like Aiden did? No, I never seek attention from others and didn't expect the whole thing to blow up. I really did learn my lesson and I hope Emily did too. On my behalf, I am truly sorry. Okay, that's not enough, because what Emily was facing was legitimate harassment. People were telling her that she should die, people were leaving thousands of comments telling her that she's awful, that she deserves execution, and you did it to teach her a lesson. There are better ways to teach her a lesson than to incite extreme harassment. You should have... Okay, the argument that I didn't know it would blow up is fucking stupid, because if you're going to fake suicide, people are going to treat it like an actual death, because people on the internet can't really fact check it, especially when it's a community full of children like this one is. It's extremely hard to fact check it. This entire thing is just disgusting. Imagine you're Emily, you're 14, and you've been bullying this one girl. Now, I'm not excusing the bullying in any way, but she might not... I'm sorry, but I'm just going to collect myself here. Emily was harassed. That's just the main point, and she probably went through a lot of emotional trauma because she genuinely thought she fucking killed someone, and it turns out it was fake. Wow, I cannot believe this. You said to teach her a lesson, and we all know that Emily, what she said was disgusting. She did deserve to be taught a lesson, but not like this. Faking your own death and putting a body on someone's name is not how you get revenge on someone who's being an asshole to you on the internet. You call them out publicly, you make a video about them, you expose them. You don't do this. You don't make them feel like they caused a death. That is not what you do in this situation. You are 16, Lemons, if you are telling the truth. You are 16, you should know better to do this. What the fuck? Genuinely, what the fuck? I am so appalled by this because I spent a long time writing the script. I went really personally into my own experience on the internet. I will keep that in because I do feel like it's important to know. A lot of the stuff I said is still going to hold true for other situations or just in general, but I want to leave my thoughts there. Again, I'm not doing this scripted. This is just me talking about the situation. I might do another video where I actually cover it, but I just don't know what to do because I thought this was a really serious situation. I reached out to people to ask how to handle it because I genuinely don't know how to handle it myself. I am not that best in social situations, as I mentioned in the intro, or I'm not sure if this is going before or after the original intro, but I am very, very just disappointed in Lemons right now because she had a lot of people fooled. She had a lot of people defending her. She had a lot of people making art for her. She had a lot of people doing stuff for her. There's a whole community around supporting her and her family, and it's all fake. Wow, that's fucking disgusting. I am not sure how to continue with this. I think I'm just gonna wrap it up here for the update, but just keep in mind the video as I originally wrote it still holds true. My beliefs still hold true there. And Emily did some fucked up shit, yes, but she did not deserve to have to feel like she killed someone, because that's probably what she did feel like. She felt like she killed someone. And people were telling her to kill herself. And that's just... Man. Wow, okay, I'm gonna wrap it up here. This section's already, like, way too long, but just keep in mind that I probably will make a follow-up video to this whole situation, going more in-depth on the thoughts that it was fake, so, yeah, just enjoy the video as it was. Hopefully, you can just take the information I give you and run with it. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it here. So today's video is definitely going to be more of a serious one. I'm going to be talking about mental health in a rather tragic situation. So no music, no funny transition slides, no jokes, etc. I will not be monetizing this, and I'll be talking about mental health in general online. I am, for the lack of a better term, socially inept when it comes to serious situations, so any offense I may cause is by no means intentional. I'm simply retelling a rather sad story, reviewing people's reactions to it, and adding my own little segment about mental health online. Let's begin. For those of you who don't know, there was a user by the name of Sweet Lemons on Instagram, and I Scoop Uwu on Reddit, and Avery in real life. She made gacha content and was an active member in the subreddit r/gachalife I am unsure of what exactly she made, but I don't believe that's relevant for the topic. On May 22nd of this year, she allegedly took her own life due to a variety of factors, one of which was a user by the name of Emily who had been harassing her. It's unclear why exactly Emily chose her to target, but there was a post mentioning that it was possibly due to Lemons dating Emily's best friend, so that could be a motive. But I didn't find it listed anywhere else, so I'll take that bit of information with a grain of salt. Emily continuously harassed Lemons, making point of her OCs despite Lemons repeatedly telling her to stop, was harassing her in DMs, with Emily suggesting Lemons to end her own life, and quote, not stopping until she does. It has been mentioned that Emily is 14, and it's mentioned that Lemons was 2 years older than her, making her 16. However, Emily was not the main reason Lemons took her own life, as stated in her cousin's post here, explaining what was going on behind the scenes. It basically states that Lemons' parents were abusive, and that severely impacted her mental health. Emily has since issued an apology, privated her account, and deleted every one of her posts, which I will get into now. I have managed to get screenshots of every single relevant post on Emily's account detailing her harassment of Lemons, as I'll display here. Here's a post where Emily's OCs are shown cleaning up after the murder of Lemon, even tagging her in the post. This post aged like fucking milk, and there are more posts of Emily telling people to stop harassing her, which was posted before Lemon's suicide. It's extremely ironic what she's saying here, as she was the one who instigated the drama in the first place and was the main problem. As shown from the DM, she has no reason to claim that she didn't do anything to deserve this, and although she did bring trouble upon herself, harassment is not justified. I will get into that later, but once Emily caught wind of Lemon's passing, she made an apology post. It was rather bare bones, as it was made in gacha, and ended with her saying that, quote, DMs were open for harassment. Her bio was changed to mention Sweet Lemons, adding the tagline degenerate asshole as well. Now, her apology was nowhere near sufficient, and as for how Emily handled the situation, there are a fair few things to get into now. Emily is 14, but that is no excuse for her actions. You are old enough at 14 to know that telling someone who you have continuously harassed to kill themselves is not okay. Telling someone to kill themselves in general is not okay, and you should know that at that age. I'm only a year older than Emily, and if the things she had said ever came out of my own mouth, I have no idea how I'd move on going forward, knowing that I had said the shit to someone and meant it. I genuinely would love to know the thought process Emily went through in order to send those messages repeatedly, but I feel like it would have been distasteful to reach out for an interview. As for the apology, we have to take into account the fact that this is a child that has to come to terms with the fact they played a role in ending someone's life. You feel like shit, you feel like you don't deserve anything, and you open yourself up to any harassment you might face, as we clearly saw Emily doing. However, you also have to realize that self-deprecation, no matter how genuine it is, helps nobody. You may hate yourself all you want for causing the death of another person, but saying that publicly and doing what Emily did strongly comes off as playing the victim card. It's a very tricky thing to navigate in these situations and a very delicate topic to breach, especially when you're the one under fire, and Emily being a young child does not help matters. While I can examine the situation under a critical lens, as I'm doing now, I cannot put myself into the emotional, mental, and rational state Emily was in at the time. I cannot say I would have acted differently in the situation, as I've never been in her place, but what I can do is offer insight to what I think might have been going on inside her head at that moment. When someone dies and it's strongly perceived it's your fault, you have three paths: exonerate yourself, ignore it altogether, or take the heat. In Emily's case, there was absolutely no possible way for her to vindicate herself of the actions plainly displayed for the world to see, and ignoring it would have been catastrophic for her image, so taking the full force of hate directed at her and addressing what she had done was the only logical path. However, this heavily appears as self-pity in a situation where that kind of thing is no good. A more respectable apology would have been written in a program other than gacha and would have consisted of explanations for your actions, a genuine promise to change, and how the situation has affected you. It would also address how you feel you should go moving on. I do not know the level of emotional and logical maturity that Emily was at, but judging from her message to Lemons, I'm guessing it's not very high. She could have waited, calmed down, and then apologized, because when you're emotionally charged, things you say are not always rational or true. Trust me, I know from experience, and it's even easier to step back and collect yourself on the internet. Close off your social media, delete the app, wait and gather your thoughts, and then make a statement. Emily is also facing legitimate harassment herself, with thousands of comments telling her that they want her dead, that she should kill herself, that she should die. etc. And to those people who I say, what the fuck are you thinking? This is a child who has made disgusting decisions, yes, but that doesn't mean you get to continue the cycle of harassment. Telling Emily to kill herself will not bring back Lemon. Telling Emily that she deserves to die won't bring justice to Avery's family. Telling a child that everyone wishes she was dead doesn't make you any more of a good person. You're lowering yourself to Emily's level by harassing her, telling her to commit suicide, all these terrible things. You are not a better person because you told a child to kill herself. You are just as bad, and even though Emily deserves criticism for her actions, criticism and hate are different things. You can criticize somebody without suggesting they off themselves, which is not what these people are doing, at least a majority of them. You are not making Lemons proud by doing the same thing that was done to her to another person. Emily's account is gone now, but if you were one of the many people that participated in that harassment, you're really fucking gross. I understand being blinded by anger, but as I mentioned earlier, you can't respond with your emotions, you have to respond with your head. We're seeing a lot of it these days, and while anger is so understandable in this current climate, you have to think before you act and before you say anything about what consequences your action will have on others. Harassing a minor will not turn back time and undo what's already been done. You're just doing the exact same thing you're disavowing, but with a false sense of superiority because you think that you're better than her. If you're calmly criticizing her, judging her actions impartially, maybe you are better than her, but if you're telling her everyone wishes she was dead and saying that she deserves to be offed, you're not. You're just the same. I am not defending what Emily did. Obviously what she did was insanely fucked up, but she does not deserve death threats, death wishes, and all the other awful shit I saw in her comments. She deserves criticism and reasonable accountability for her actions. Lemon's own cousin came out and disavowed any harassment towards Emily, and whether or not she deserves to be forgiven is up to the victim's family. I personally could never forgive someone like Emily, but it's not my place to decide that. Yeah, of course, GalaxyIsOk had to get involved here. They left a post on Lemon's suicide announcement saying, "Fuck yes, woo, let's all throw a party." Obviously, this had a lot of people enraged, but again, you have to remember to think in these kinds of situations. I saw multiple screenshots of people DMing the GalaxyIsOk account, and to them and anyone thinking of doing something similar, I say don't. People who are blowing up at them in their replies, lashing out, etc. are not helping themselves. By acting that way, insulting them, calling them names, hoping they get hit by a truck or whatever, you're just giving them more screenshots that suggest gotcha kids are extremely irrational and giving them exactly what they want. It's very obvious that there's no getting through to these people, so simply reporting their hateful content and comments is enough. Do not interact with these people. You will not get any answers from them other than ones that will leave you more angry than when you came in. It's what they do. They just purposely get you riled up and angry so you say something extreme and they can use it against you. It's no use arguing with people who won't listen, so simply reporting them and moving on is the correct course of action. Also, there's been a lot of confusion between the anti-gotcha community and the anti-gotcha council. The council are the ones responsible for JLo's doxing and a lot of other awful things. The anti-gotcha community is mostly made up of people like me who do not like the gotcha community and criticize the users within, as well as comment on other major problems within it. We do not hold any animosity for people who simply enjoy the game. Although we personally disagree with you, we won't fucking attack or dox you. There are obviously some users who take the whole anti-gotcha thing way too far, and those people do not make up a majority of our community, nor do we accept them or their ideas. There's been a lot of scare posts about them, and rest assured, as long as you take the proper precautions when dealing with extremely hateful users, you will be safe. Don't click on any sketchy links, don't give out personal information, generally don't interact with people who you don't think have your best intentions in mind, and you'll be fine. This is where my personal experiences come in. Obviously, I am no advocate for the gotcha community, and my distaste for it is very well documented. However, it's a common question if I'm okay with people who like gotcha following me, and of course the answer to that is yes. No matter who you are allowed to agree with me, and it's silly to think that I hate the portion of my fanbase that is involved in the gotcha community. As for my experiences with the negative sides of it, it's been established that there have been some very hateful people in my comments. I commented some harsh criticism under a user's page, and they flooded my comment section with a full 30 seconds of scrolling, comments telling me I should die, I'm racist for some reason, I'm worthless, all that good stuff. I've had people sexualize me, tell me I should die, I've had people say they want to kill me, I'm a horrible person, and all that. I've been through some really depressing times in my life, long before I started YouTube, so I guess I'm a pretty tough person. I used to get into arguments all the time in my comment section, as some of you may know, although I did try my best to match the tone of the comment I was replying to. That was still not the best idea for a number of reasons. It was a waste of my time, and even though I said it didn't affect me, it kind of really did subconsciously. All those people saying they hated me, that I was a garbage person, it really influenced my own opinion of myself. I thought of myself as some horrible, evil person, and for the most part, that was really reinforced by the arguments I got into. I felt like I couldn't show any weaknesses publicly or else it would be used against me. I couldn't admit that I was wrong because I would be letting these people win. And it carried over to some of my personal life as well. I was very stubborn and set in my ways, and it led to a rather big falling out with people I still resent to this day. Both sides of people were in the wrong in that situation, and in the end, nobody won, but after that, I did have to take a bit of a mental health break. I stopped reading comments, I stopped engaging with those kind of people who just hate me for the sake of it. I just really did my own thing for a month or so until I figured out what to do with myself, and honestly, it really helped me. I feel so much better now that I don't have to worry about reply threads where everyone's just yelling at each other. I do still have some issues from the situation, but handling my community has been far easier on me ever since I just stopped engaging in those pointless arguments. I've learned to live and let live, and there will be people that hate me, and there will also be people that love me, and I've just learned to roll with it. Now, how does this tie back into the Lemon situation? Well, my advice to anyone going through what Lemon is going through is to simply just remove yourself from the situation. There will be some people that are just dead set on hating you, and it does you no good to keep entertaining them like that. Report them, block them again if they make a different account, turn off DMs from people you don't follow or who don't follow you, ask for help because being stuck in a cycle of self-doubt is not fun, and you just need to reach out to people who support you. All in all, if a situation just ever gets too much for you to handle, just leave. Delete your account if you need to, start fresh. If you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen for your own well-being. What I learned from my time online is that you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just do your own thing, learn the difference between hate and criticism, keep the criticism you get in mind, and don't be afraid to ask for help. With that, I'll end the video now. What happened to Lemon was awful and should not have happened. Emily needs to learn from her actions and do better in the future, and people should be more aware about what they say, even if they're in the heat of the moment and focusing more on emotions than anything. Don't engage with people who clearly have no intent to change their mind, and make sure you take care of yourself. Sorry for the more serious video topic, I just wanted to talk about this. I'll be sure to try and get out a lighter-hearted video next time. See you later. Bye.